I never thought I would have to make this video, but let me explain. For the past year, I have done my best to make the best Edison content that I possibly can. And I've been doing a pretty good job up until this point. However, today was a bad day. And all it really takes is one bad day. Today in Curse Tech, we are not doing anything fun. Today we are playing One Bad Day in Edison format. If you all don't know, One Bad Day is a pseudonym, a stand-in for Barrier Stun in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!
Sometimes things don't go your way, and you have what is known as a bad day.
Basically, if you get comboed enough, every player will have that one bad day where they just roll up with Moon Mirror Shield and Barrier Statues, and that's the day I am having today. There's one good thing for Edison players, though. It's that, you know, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And Edison format are very different. Barrier Statues are only really good as a targeted side deck option, and even then, can we make One Bad Day work in Edison format? Is it a good thing if it does work? Probably not. Here's the deck list. It's got trap cards and barrier statues, and we tried to get them to win in battle. Also a little bit of rhinos, because why not? Why not? I don't know. Let's get into the games. Yes. What is happening? Why are we playing One Bad Day in Edison format? Barrier Stun. Is this really what I've stooped to? Barrier Statue of the Inferno? Widespread Ruin? Scrap Iron Scarecrow? What is Yu-Gi-Oh? What is Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't know. We're gonna just set 2 and pass. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our best matchup. I couldn't believe it whenever I loaded into this game. I was like, is this really the deck I'm going against? The deck in the format that is like a rogue deck, but is like the only deck that is so reliant on special summoning. It's like, maybe if there is a god, they want me to play this deck. Okay, and here is a shout out to Sack Phase. Go watch that guy's videos, because if it wasn't for them, I would not know this ruling. So, because tuning wear is mandatory if this card is sent to the graveyard, basically my opponent will lose the opportunity to do their ignition priority effect. And so when I bottomless this, they cannot summon out the Cyber Valley from the deck. Go watch that Sack Phase video. It actually came up, and I was like, I learned something, so shout out to them. So they will not get to summon, we get to banish their monster. They do get to draw 3 cards, but you know what? This Barrier Statue is gonna come down next turn, and things are going very well for me. We're gonna discard these 2 with a hand destruction, and we draw into Smashing Ground and Winged Rhinos. They're gonna normal summon a Debris Dragon. They bring back the tuning wear. They're gonna use this Quillbolt Hedgehog, and then this is not enough for Stardust, so that is very good for us. They'll go into an Ancient Fairy and they get to draw a card, and then they're just going to go to the battle phase. But we have the Scrap Iron Scarecrow. It's kind of good. The logic in this deck is, you know, you set up the statue, you Smashing Ground on the next turn. It's really annoying for them to ever attack over it, and you'll draw into more removal like Widespread Ruin. Okay, so we're going to activate Smashing Ground, normal summon the Barrier Statue, go into the battle phase, attack for 1,000 damage. We're going to set a card and pass our turn. We could still win even if they have Heavy Storm, and then we draw another card. We're going to summon out the Rhinos. We attack for 1,800 and 1,000, and then we're going to pass our turn yet again, and then they draw for turn, and then they are going to Heavy Storm, but thankfully we did not set everything, and then they're just going to set a monster and pass back to us. We draw a Widespread Ruin, and this is exciting Yu-Gi-Oh! I love Yu-Gi-Oh! We love Barrier Stun. This is what it's all about. Activate Hand Destruction, we discard those, and then we draw into more removal, because that's all we play. And then they set a monster and pass. Thankfully, we do top deck this Smashing Ground. We would have been like completely stalled out, but not today, opponent. Smashing Ground, set a back row, set 2 back row and pass, and was it a GG's? I don't know. I have no idea. Game number 2, Barrier Stun against our best possible matchup. This hand looks so funny. They're gonna activate hand destruction. We decided to discard the Shrink and the Stormwinds because Smash and Ground is just, it's just too good in this deck. We draw 2, they get 2 tokens, and then they are going to set up this early Drill Warrior draw 2 play, and that would be good if we were not playing Fossil Dyna. It's so good against Drill Warrior. It's so good. We summon the Barrier Statue. We attack over this because I've got the My Body, and I'm thinking this deck plays discard traps, so if it is the Raigeki break, we want to bait it out maybe right now instead of in the end phase, because we're going to have to set this My Body. They flip up this Royal Decree, but the Drill Warrior does not come back. Then they activate Pot of Avarice. They draw 2, and then they pass. We summon out another Fossil Dyna, and it's just like, what do you do? What do you do in this situation? And then I told my opponent that they got absolutely sacked because this is the absolute worst matchup they could ever run into. But why am I playing this deck? This person would never run into this deck. I'm so sorry. Oh man, this video is horrible. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about Barrier Stun in Edison format. Thankfully, it's not very good. I did a lot of research. I looked up all the Barrier Stun decks starting from, I think it started for the first time in 2013 once Yu-Gi-Oh started picking up. People started having bad days and they started throwing Barrier Statues. But I also think Moon Mirror Shield is the pivotal card in this deck in particular. It's just sort of answer in the battle phase that never goes away, and you can just add it back to the top of your deck whenever it does go away. So sort of fixes all the problems that this deck has, but this deck has a lot of problems. In Edison format, people just normal summon monsters with more attack, so you need to rely on, damage step, battle phase, shenanigans, or hard removal probably works the best. So at the end of the day, I'm going to put this deck in small possibility of doing anything. I mean, I don't think Stun is that bad in Edison format, but one bad day in particular, if you play this deck, your day's just gonna get worse. It's just, you're not gonna have a good time. It doesn't really function. It's not even very fun to play, so I don't know what to say. This was kind of like a weird episode, but it's really so bad. But, this was a science experiment. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for letting me make your days worse as well. And yeah, now that I've done this, I will never play another Barrier Statue again, and that is probably for the best. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.